Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we will see JavaScript object model today. So JavaScript object modeling, I mean, it is completely run on depending on JS file. So we
Okay,
have to.
I had a question.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, during REST API, we were using this underscore SP page context info. So where do we get this? Like, do we refer to some external file, or is it like inbuilt in REST API?
Yes, we have sp.js file and sp.runtime.js file. I mean, many JS files are there. So, for example, I'll show you since it is online. Where is the JS file actually.
So by default, this file is within SharePoint only, environment only, right?
Yes, but we have to, when we are writing the code, right? So we have to import or refer.
To this file.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
This file is available in layouts. I mean, for example, I will take runtime.js. So we have to refer these files in our custom code.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So everything is available externally. We have to take it up. That's it. So maybe I'll give this path. So here is your site URL, whatever the site, then underscore layouts 50. So there are many JS files will be there. I mean, based on your requirement, you have to, I mean, refer that. Okay. If it is people picker, sometimes I mean, you have to use people picker. So
Yeah. Do we have any physical location for these files? Like in which library are they present, or their file?
yes, I mean, if it is online,
Yes.
it is well. I mean, there is no physical location for online, right? So it's available in cloud. I mean, Microsoft cloud. So we have to give the path like this. If it is on premise, you have to go to 15 hive. Within the 15, you will get the 15 about 15. I mean, directly.
So is there any way that we could find a list of JavaScript files if we want to know like how many JavaScript files are there on the cloud? So is there any way of knowing it out?
But I mean, they are not showing it within the 15 hive.
Yes.
That is, I mean, very problem. But based on our requirement, maybe I'll share the list. There are many
Sure.
are there.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. So that's how we'll give it. So once we are required, then we can directly import into our content editor. Finally, I mean, where we will use this JS file is, I mean, we have to retrieve from the SharePoint list only. So in JSON also, we can do 4 things, that is CRUD operations. So initially we will see an entry. Later I mean since it is very easy, so I'm just doing it by reading.
Okay. I had another question. Like, in what scenarios should we use JSON, and in what scenarios should we use REST API? So is JSON exclusive to SharePoint, or like is it also, because I think REST API we can also use it in other environments besides SharePoint?
No, I mean, yeah. So as you said,
so okay.
So we have mainly we will use it when if you want to use it for batch jobs, like we want to use multiple lists retrieving in the same, like in the same single content, then we'll go for JavaScript. So that means uh, I can say, I mean, many developers, I mean, whatever the based on the requirement, like if we have if you don't want to depend on anything, I mean, I don't want to go for refer these JS files. I mean, there is a dependency, right? JSON. So the JS file should be there. So if I don't want to depend on anything, directly write the queries, then go for REST API. Okay. If it is, I mean, there is a scenario. Sometimes like directly. I mean, I can write directly the URL, right? It's in the REST API. Like I don't have any dependency. Like underscore API and whatever. The whatever get by title, then we can directly write the REST API here. But you cannot directly write the JSON. JSON, we need the CAML query. I mean that's what I have to explain it today's class. And then we have a CAML query. So if we go for .NET, generally we'll write SQL queries or SQL stored procedures.
Right.
Oh, hello.
Hello?
Yeah, Sangeet.
Yes. No, it's fine. Yeah, you carry on.
Okay. So I have to use CAML query here.
Okay.
But in REST API, I have to use CAML query for retrieving. In REST API, I have to use the URL. Second one here, I have to use the, I mean, dependencies .js files. And here, there is no dependency. Okay. REST advantage is like, I mean, service reference, we can directly give it. I mean, we can, the service is always available. I mean, APIs, we can use it anywhere. So the second one is like interoperability support. I mean, programming model and wherever you go, the platform. Like we are now moving to SharePoint Online. So APIs will work properly. Suppose if this model itself they are removing, so they are planning to deprecate it. So scripting model. So by that situation, I mean this JSON won't work. This is the old way actually. And the second one, when we will mainly go for JSON is that is batchy. So, for example, I have 100 records. Okay. So within the 100 records, if I want to retrieve it in a single time, I mean in a single request, so I can request using in a single request. I mean I want to retrieve 100 records. Okay. So in a single batch, I can request. But here, the problem with the REST is, I mean, in the multiple requests I have to take. I mean, in the JSON, I mean, maybe round trips, I can call it as. Whenever we load the data, I mean, multiple loads, we have to take it in the JSON. So still, I mean, the code was not completed. So I can say like I have to load the whatever the round trips it was happened. So then only I can retrieve the data. So based on the batches, like I can take 10 batches in a single shot, and the second shot I can take 100 records, and the third time I can take 200 records. So I can request multiple batches within the batching concept can be applied in the JSON. REST API I cannot do it. I have to, because I have to take a single URL, the endpoint, and then I have to use it. Is it clear, Vinny? Maybe, I mean.
Yes.
Maybe I can say I have 100 records. Okay. I mean, mainly this case in interview they will ask. So 100 round trips you have to do it. But here one trip. I mean, in the code, if you see the code, then you may understand this concept. Okay, let's move on. So okay, so for retrieving the data, we are in this site. As we have done it for REST API, in the same way, we are planning to do it for the CAML query. As I said, CAML query. So for reading, we have to use CAML query. So what is CAML query? Is collaborative application markup language. So it is almost like XML format. So I'll show you, I mean, how easily we can write the queries. So for CAML query, we have a tool called U2U CAML query builder. Okay, this is the tool. I mean, we will generate the queries based on our requirement using this tool. So we have to install this tool. So let us go to Google. So there is a site called u2u.b. So go here, and here is the standalone edition is there. So install it. Maybe I'll just give it to you in the chat. URL of the camel code. Yeah. So once it is downloaded, just install directly. We'll try to install again. Check you. I'm just checking what is the problem. I mean, I'm just downloading done. Just a minute. I'll just try to do it in my mobile. And can you try from your side? I mean, so that you can do it anywhere.
Yes, I will try.
Yeah.
Same issue.
Oh, okay. Vinith, you are getting the same issue?
I haven't tried it yet. Should I try?
Can you please try it? If
Yeah.
it works, then I'll directly take your screen and explain in the same session.
Okay, so I need to install the software, right? The standalone edition.
URL and download and just install it. It just take 2 minutes only.
Okay.
Yeah, from my side it's installed.
Okay.
Yes, just downloading.
Yeah, install at my end as well.
It is,
Yes, installed.
mhm. Okay. If it works for you, then can you please share your screen?
Yes, 1 second.
Just stopping my. Sangeeta, you are sharing your screen. Yeah, I'm just requesting the control. So once it is opened, you just give the URL of your site. Okay, what's that? Can you open? I mean, your sharing was stopped. Hello. Sangeeta, your sharing was stopped.
Yeah, I will share once.
Okay, maybe if it is problem, then I'll do it. I mean, without CAML query, I will retrieve all the links. Maybe evening once it is installed my system, then I'll explain the CAML query.
Okay.
But JSON I can do it. I mean, without using the tool also I can write it. There is no problem. I mean, it will be very easy for you. I mean, if we know the tool, then I'll explain that once it is installed my system. Okay. So as we discussed all JSON, if it is JavaScript, I mean, when we are going to display with the content editor web part, so we have to create HTML, JS files, and then it is available CSS we have to do. So my HTML, I'm just saving it. Taking read data JSON. The next one, taking JS file. So I'll write HTML. In the body, so body I'm just taking one div for now I'm giving div JSON. Well, why I'm taking this div? Just I want to append this data. I mean, whatever I'm retrieving data from SharePoint list using JS, and finally I'll append it here. So next one is, as we discussed, so we need jQuery reference. So we need sp.js, sp.runtime. Yeah, I think those three are enough to retrieve the data. So I'm taking jQuery CDN path. Well, previously I have downloaded, right? So now I am directly giving the CDN path. Just checking here. It is there. So taking the copy. So how will get this script source equal to directly I'm giving the path. Yeah. The next one is so I'll give relative path underscore layouts. This is sp.js. So this will take directly layout. This is sp. Runtime I have taken jQuery, then sp.runtime, then sp. So finally my customized JSON is my customized JSON. So if I upload that into site assets, so my files are available in computer network. So taking the folder JSON, just uploading both like JSON. Is not taking empty files. So maybe I'll write document dot id. When I load the page directly, I'll display the data. Uploading. So I'm taking the path site assets. Then within that JSON folder, then my .js. So four things I have taken. I mean, as of now, I am directly retrieving the data. So first one is jQuery, second is runtime, and third is sp.js. Fourth one is my customized JSON. So same, everything is same. So since it is available, everything is ready. I'm just uploading once. Yes. Okay. Now I will create a page, web part page. So I have to give my HTML part. Correct? So in the content editor web part, add a web part, media and content, and edit the web part. Dot HTML. And okay. So this is working properly as my references, everything is working because it is saying that test. Test is coming from my JSON. So till now you are clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, okay. Now I'll call one function. I'm just taking one function. Get data list. This is my function. Here I'll write all JSON related code. I will have to retrieve that. The second one is I have to call when I load the page itself. So directly I'm calling this. When same function I'm calling in the ready function. So when I retrieve the data, I mean it automatically calls for get data from list function. So initially, what we need to do is just need to take the context. So the context is like maybe I'll take like variable from copy for the reference value. So it automatically gives us. So just take the client context. Your power is gone, so I'm not able to see my keyboard. So this SP is my JS file. Actually. So I'm taking the client context from my SP, I mean the object SP. So I'm taking the web within the web. Client context. When I debug the code, I will show you, I mean, what exactly it gives you the web. So first initially I have taken the context, then my site URL, then I am directly taking the list name. So list equal to O means of them, then your list. So I'm returning all lists. So taking the data based on my list name. So my list name is for now I am taking country. So if the list is ready, then we have to use the CAML query here. When I am trying to retrieve all my list items, so within the list items, I have to write the CAML code. List dot get all items. So all items means I'll get everything. Whatever, if I use within the brackets, whatever the CAML query, if I write it here, I mean in the CAML query, you can write the filters, ordering, I mean everything we can write it. So for now, I'm taking everything like whatever the data is available. SP dot taking all the data. So here it is saying that create all items score. That means everything you will get it, whatever it is available in the list. So I have to note all the list items. So I have to take execute query or something. So within the execute query async, as we have done it for success and failure, you can take success and fail. In function on success, write actual items, then the fail pass the arguments, whatever the error related. Maybe I'll just take some console.log. In the log, like just pass the message. So success will take one enumerator. So I need the list item, so I'll keep this global because I want to use it out of the function also. So I'll keep it here. Remove the variable and initialization so that I can globally use that list items. Enumerator is one by one will retrieve. So whatever the data is available in the list, it comes one by one. So we'll iterate it in the while loop. Do next will help us to pass the next item. Underscore current. Item. Within the item, I have to give the column name. So now I got the data. So variable that's title. That's title. That's list type. So whatever the loop is happening, right? First time it is empty, then title value India. Second time, like maybe I'll give some break here. So one by one it will append. Finally, I have my ID, right? So dollar of ID, so hash dot append of X title. So my data, I mean, one by one, I have passed it. Used the break because just want to show it in a simple looping concept, whatever the records are available. My HTML div ID is there. I'm just appending this into my ID. The data is with Excel. Let us see. Try to upload the data again. Okay. Still the old file is executing. I'm doing Control F5. It is working now. Why it is coming many times? 4 with comments. Let me try in this way. Code, I mean, some many times, I mean, this JS file won't update. So that's how we are displaying the data. For example, if I update the data, like save it, dynamically I'm able to display. So the concept, I'll just summarize it. So initially we have to refer the jQuery library. I mean, some people they will use CDN. I mean, previously for REST API, I have used the I just uploaded the jQuery library in site assets. I gave the path. I mean, just for a change, I gave CDN path. Next one is we have to download sp.js and runtime.js. Third one is we have to refer my customized JS file. And whatever everything we are doing the customization here only. So why we have taken div is just for display purpose. If we don't have anything, then I cannot show it anywhere. So I just gave the reference div tag and then ID I gave. Now coming to the JS file, I have taken the document.ready. When we load the page, I am calling this function. So this is my function. So just taking the context, sp.context, then where, then I'm taking the title, I mean the list. So trying to retrieve all the items using create all items query. Showing it in O list items. I have to load the data because since it is, if we don't load the data into context, it won't work out. I mean, the page should load the data. Then success and failure. When asynchronously it should work. Taking the enumerator, I mean get enumerator. So that means everything comes into this all the data. I mean, 10 records are there. I got 10 records. So one by one, I mean here move next using move next. One by one, I am getting the item, appending to my variable. Then finally, I am appending this based on this HTML ID, appending to access. Is it clear? Finally?
Can you explain once?
Okay. Some people they will do it by creating a table. So TD starts here. Okay, table here TD within the TD. Plus illustrator. Closing the table. If the table so table starts here. First line here TD within the TD. I'm just taking the data. TD closed and here then table. Let us try this. So this is how you'll get the data. Well, structured format you'll get. If you don't want to show this content editor record, just go to edit page. Edit record. For appearance, give Chrome type as none. Stop into. See. Comment. Yes, Sangeeta. I mean, you are saying something. I didn't.
Yeah, can you please explain once?
Okay. So, what, as I said in the initially, so we need for JSON, we need to refer the files, common files, sp.js, runtime.js,
Right.
and which is available in the 15 file. Okay.
Okay.
So what I'm doing here is two things. sp.runtime.js, sp.js.
Yes.
Just refer. jQuery reference. jQuery icon 2.5 is the CDN path. I gave directly.
Right.
And the next one is I gave my customized JS file. Whatever I'm writing here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Path I just placed in site assets. Read data JSON.js.
Okay.
Then I gave it in the reference. As everything I'm doing is here only. Okay. So in the body, I have taken one div tag. The purpose of div tag is I have to show it here, right? So because we have to show it in HTML only. Finally, I
Right.
gave HTML. So for display purpose, in the HTML, I have taken one div tag. It's a container. We can call it as container. I gave the ID.
Mm-hmm.
So this ID, finally, I gave it in the div JSON. This ID is div JSON. Everything I am appending in to this div only. That's why it is showing. So we'll come back to JS. So I gave it all list items as common because it is not a functional scope. I mean block scope. Complete JS file I need. So I gave it as a global one.
Right.
So second one is the requirement is I want to display the data based on my what I can say based on display the data when page loads into the browser. That means when I load the page, automatically this should show up.
Right.
The event for loading is document.ready.
Yes.
For example, if I have a button,
Yeah, this part clear. Okay. So this things are clear, and that
will go to this part.
yeah.
To get data from list is my actual
Yes.
function.
Okay.
So what I'm taking is I'm taking the client context. Client
Okay.
context, where exactly? I mean, the this is my context.
Yes.
SharePoint site. I'm in SharePoint site. I am using sp.client context. sp is my sp.js.
Okay.
I'm taking this object sp
Mm-hmm.
dot getting the client context. It is a predefined function. If you go to here, it was written by SharePoint. See here, the client context. This client, I'm calling the client context, right? So it is defined here. Within this many. So I'm taking the context. So based on if I call this client context, I will get this entire object of this. I'll take here.
Okay.
I'll show you in the so see now what I got is the client context, my site URL.
Yes.
URL. There are two checks. So here, execute beginner, cache to constructor. Many are there. These are all, I mean, my context related details.
Okay.
Request
Yes.
well,
Right.
default one.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one is I am trying to get my URL in the web. I mean, where? See, I am in Benj, India.
Yes.
So that's what I'm trying.
Okay.
So within the web, in the Benj, India, in the all the lists, that means site contents, I'm taking country.
Okay.
So like we'll go like this way, like site action, site contents, then within the content, country list.
Hmm.
Because I need to get the data from country, right?
Country.
Yeah. So now my object, I mean list object I received. So this part is like CAML query I told you, right? Maybe tomorrow I'll explain very clearly. If I write create all items query, whatever the data is available in the list, everything will come up.
Okay.
But tomorrow maybe we can filter some data, like how we'll write in select query, and then filter like where conditions. We'll write it tomorrow.
Okay.
So out of 100, I'll take only two records only. So finally, here I'm retrieving all the items using CAML query and assigning to O list item.
Okay.
Then I am loading the O list item. That means all the list items I am loading into my context. That means loading into my page. Okay. Then execution process started. So in the execution process, there are two things. One is success and fail. If the execution is success, then it comes here. So this is table structure. So enumerator, as I told you, get enumerator, it takes the records and one by one. So my object is here, the first one. So first one value, I got it here, India. That means enumerator dot get current get item of title. My column name is title.
Right.
And the second one, I mean, this is my structure, table structure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the second one is like China. So in the loop, while loop, it completes. Till you get the data, it comes up. Then ending the close, I mean ending the table, and appending this X title, whatever it is there,
Right.
HTML structure into div JSON
Mm-hmm.
and display. If I append, automatically it displays.
Okay.
So for example, tomorrow we may get one more column. So one more column. Here I have one more column. So I can call this as state. Here my column name is state. State. So first table it was started and was started with tr. Then my within the tr first td, second td, and tr closed. Maybe I can. So it was started with the tr, first td, second td, and tr closed. And if we want to give the headlines, we can give it here. Okay. So we have two T pictures. Second one is third. First one is complete. So these are like, we'll give the headers, and take the columns, whatever we want, and we'll maintain some structure. Finally, close the table and append. We'll see how it comes. So we have to maintain some structure. So you can write multiple columns. And in the enumerator, we'll take one by one. And many columns you can write it, form some structure, and finally append to the HTML. Is it clear, Sangeet?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Vineet, any questions? Any?
No clear. Yeah, no clear.
So I will upload this in my, in our channel. So we'll see, how to just practice this. Then tomorrow we'll do it, based on some conditions.
Okay.
Okay, then if there's nothing is there, then tomorrow we'll plan to.
Okay.
If you have time on weekends and this, Vineet, any possibility to join on weekend?
What time?
Anytime. Basically, I'll see this Saturday. Only I'll take 1 hour or 2 hours.
I can join like after 12, between 12 and 4 I can join because I have some other class. So I'm available from noon till 4 p.m.
PM is fine. Post lunch.
What?
2 PM is fine for you.
Yeah, fine.
Sangeet, is it okay for you? Vinith, can you see my screen, Sangeeta? Okay. So yesterday we have seen all about like just displaying the data. Okay. And we have displayed all the records which is available in the SharePoint list based on using JavaScript object model. So today we'll see few of the records. I mean, we'll just create, update, and delete items.
Okay.
I mean, for me still the U2U CAML query builder is not working. Maybe once I mean finished, then we'll check it out why it is not working. So I'm just trying. Otherwise, I mean we'll move to the create, update, and delete.
Okay.
Everything is okay. Then I'll take your system. I mean I'll take the control of.
One second. I just open that one.
Yeah, I mean after these remaining 3 operations, I mean we can, I mean move for that tool.
Okay, sure.
So first I'll try to create a record using JSON. So for that, I'll create a new file. Create list item .html, and in the same way, I'll create a create list item .json. So we need both, I mean, for content editor web part. So initially what I'll do is I'll just take I'll just develop the HTML file based on my requirement. So I have a list already, movie details. So maybe I'll just create a new record on these 4 columns, and we'll try for creating the record in movie details list. Okay. So as we discussed, I mean initially, we have to form like doc type HTML. Okay. And within the head, we'll give the references. Yeah, my references, as we said, sp.js, sp.runtime, sp.core.js. These 3 are mandatory for creating the record. So I think the type is not required. I mean, latest browsers is taking by default. So runtime.js, just copy paste it. Sorry. So one is runtime, and second one is core, and third one is sp.js, and fourth one is we'll take the jQuery library. This time I'll try to take from site assets. Yesterday we have taken the CDN path. We don't have a lot. I'll directly download and keep it in my site assets. 3.5.1. So within the JS folder, so I'm taking this path, and instead of jQuery, I'm giving direct. So jQuery also given, and finally I need to give the my customized JS file. So I'm uploading JSON within the JSON. That create list ID. This is my JS file, and giving the path in HTML. Okay. So everything is ready now. So references I gave it. Now the pending is body. I mean, generally in the body, like we will design the form, like create a record, whatever the form is there. So I need a table structure. So I need one row and two TDs for everything. So maybe I will take for 4 columns, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 fields, right? So 4 rows. 4, 5. 5 is for button. So this my call span 2. That means it merges the remaining columns. Okay. First one is movie name. Okay. Second one is movie. Yeah, Vinny. Hello, Vinny. You're saying something?
No, nothing.
Okay. So third one is region, and fourth is release status. Okay. So my headers are ready, and now for since it is text box, budget also text box, then region is drop down, release status is drop down. So based on this, we will directly create it. So movie name. Okay. This movie name is title. Okay. Okay. I am giving text box. Type equal to text. I'll give ID txt movie name. Okay. And the second one is movie budget. I'm just preparing the IDs. Okay. And the third one is region. So for this, I'll take drop down ID equal to DDL region. Within that, I'll take like option value equal to something, and display purpose is different. So 2, 3, how many values are there? We'll see. 3 are there. So AP, JP, EU. Okay. And the fourth one is like same drop down. So I'm just copying. So release status. First one not started. In progress. Completed. Since it is just a HTML, I'm just moving a bit faster. Okay. So, and last input type equal to button. ID equal to BTN submit. And value is submit. Okay. So my design is ready. So let me upload this HTML and JS is already there. So we'll see the design first. If everything is okay, then we'll move further. Okay. So create list item. So for the, I'll create one more web part page for the content editor web part. So adding a web part. In the media and content, I'm taking content editor web part. And in the edit web part, I'm giving the path of HTML. Header, I don't want to show, so give it. Applied. So this is the actual design we gave it. So now we'll see the functional part. I mean the technical, like if I give movie name budget and selected value, whatever I selected. When I submit it, automatically this should save in my SharePoint list. Okay. So when I click on my button submit, when I click on this submit button, this should save the record in SharePoint list. For that, what I'm doing is on click equal to create item. That's my function as of now. So function, so alert trigger. I'm just testing. If this alert is rising, then we'll start our actual code. Okay. Generally, I'll do test like this. Otherwise, I mean, everything is completed, then it is very difficult to come back to the basic.
Right.
So submit trigger function. So it is triggering. There is no problem for this. So now I am ready to write everything in this function. So generally the process is as we previously, I mean, yesterday we have discussed that. So we have to take the client context, then take the list, then within the list, then here we have to create the item. So that is the process. So initially I need the values. So values from the form. That means this HTML, whatever we have written, these values, I mean, end user will submit like movie name, Spider-Man, budget 20 millions, and region is JP, release status is in progress. So these values we should get it in submit. So later we'll set the values in JSON, but initially I should retrieve it. So for that, variable movie name equal to $of hash dot val. That means I'll get, this is movie name ID, text box ID. So my value, I'm just getting the value from the HTML and assigning to name variable. Next is movie budget, M budget equal to $. Dot val. So in interviews, generally how to get the value from SharePoint form, they will ask you. So we have to give the, say like, I mean, in the jQuery $, you have to give the ID, then val. Some people, they will ask in jQuery, JavaScript. So maybe one like document dot get element by ID of dot value. I mean, this, the format or syntax they will ask me in interviews. How to retrieve get the value in jQuery, how to get the value in JavaScript. Just simple document.getElement by ID, the ID of the text box, then value. So the next one is region. So where region equal to, I'm writing directly in jQuery. Later it is region, sorry, okay. It is DDL release status. Variable release status. Okay. So is it clear till now? I mean, we'll just test it whether the values are coming up here or not.
Yes, clear.
Yes, clear.
Okay. So, I mean, generally I'll test the things. I mean, my components are code. I mean, based on, I mean, I'll split the things. So here it is get, later maybe set, then actual JSON. So I'll debug it. So here in the site assets, I'll get my JSON. Yes. So take the breakpoint. Movie name, site name, budget 25 in progress. This one jet. Okay. When I submit, let me see Spider-Man. Then it is error. It is showing. Cannot read property value of null. What happened? THT. Oh, sorry. I gave with ash, so I have to remove it. So that's why I use it to do it in this way. Okay. I'm submitting. So the value is 23, but the number region is JP, so info. Yeah, perfect. Till now, I was able to get the value from the HTML form. Now, JSON part. So for JSON, let me take the global values initially. So the global values I can say variable client context. I'll take one more thing like list item. Variable or list. So I need three things for creating the record. One is my context, second is my list name, third one is my item. So that's why I gave it globally. So I need the client context, right? So client context equal to, yesterday we have done the same, sp dot dot client context dot get underscore current. That means the current context I'll get it. Then my list is, I have prepared the object already in the above list equal to client context dot get underscore web current web dot get underscore lists. All the lists. Then I need only specific list. So my list name I'll give it here. So my list name is movie details. Yeah. So my list I got it. Now the thing is I need to create a record. So item create info. I'm just taking the variable object new. This is the actual object. We will use it for creating the record. So we have to remember this list item creation information. I mean, this is out of the box existing function. So I mean, this is available in sp.js file. So list item. I mean, we are going to create the item in list item. So list item creation information. This is the function, existing function, I can say. So if this object is ready, then list item, when I need the list item equal to list dot add item. Add item in item creation. So these two are little bit separate when we compared with the read or whatever. I mean, this delete or update or anything. So only two are different. That is creation information, sp list item creation information. Then within the list item, I'm adding this list item into list. So if I got the object of list item, then I have to add this into list. So which list is movie details? Okay. So now I have to set the values to my list item. So list item dot set underscore item. How to set the value is based on my column name. Here two parameters will be there. First one is my column name. So it is a title. So my column name is title. The value is, so if I go, my m name is my value. Here is the value. And the second one, I mean, we have totally 4 columns are there. 3, 4. Okay. So first column, second column, third column. I mean 4 columns I have to set the item. So let me take from here movie budget. M budget. I mean this M budget is my actual value. This is my field. I am setting the value into my field properly. And the next one is region. So the value is here M region. And the final one is release status. Better you just take it from the URL instead of copy here, because the best one is ID. So release status. So I have set the value. So finally everything is set, then I have to update it. Let me give the break here for understanding. All list item dot update. This will update the values, and finally we have to do two things as yesterday we have done. Client context load, client context execute query async, within that success and failure. So client context dot load, and the load I'll take list item. And execute asynchronous. Then two things we have to do. One is success, second one is error. Now I have to call that success function. So within the success, maybe I'll give the message. Just a minute. I'll take div record added successful. Okay. ID equal to div success. Okay. So the best way is document dot ready of function. I mean, that means when I load the form, I will hide that div tag. I mean, it won't appear when I load the page. Okay. So if it is success, then I will show this message. And the next one is I don't want to show this when everything is added properly. That means TBL form. I'll give the ID, table ID. I mean, in real time we'll do in this way, right? So I'm trying the same maximum. So this will show and the table will hide. Okay. Then what next? Okay, success is completed. Then yeah, this failure Maybe I'll write like insert failed. Function insert failed. So maybe I'll give alert. Item failed. Okay. So I think almost completed for creating the record. So we have done in 3 parts. One is get the value from HTML. And HTML is one part. And the second one is get the value from SharePoint list. From the form. Third one is client context. Get the list, create the item, and within that item I am adding it to the actual list. Then the fourth one, set the items into the proper columns. I mean, assigning the values into the fields. I mean, these are all list columns. And then this is common. So update, load, execute query is the common things. Maybe if you are reading the data, this won't be available, but these two are common. So I have 2 things. One is success and failure. If it is success, I'm just showing the message. If it is on table form, I'm hiding. If it is failed, I'm just showing some alert. Is it clear? I mean, we'll see later. I mean, how to deploy all those things.
Yeah, clear from my side.
Okay. Next. Doubts.
Yeah.
We'll expect some. I directly wrote it, so we may get some errors, but we'll fix it in debugging process. First, I'm trying to check whether that code is updated. Okay, that's fine. Clicking here. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm giving the movie name. Spider-Man budget 59 JP in progress. Now submitting. So I'm getting all the values. This we have done it already. So context, list. I'm giving the breakpoints. Error also I'll give. So title, value, budget, region, status. Everything is clear. And load. If it is success, we'll see. Yeah, it is success. So showing the message and hiding the table. Okay. Record added successfully. Trying to refresh. Okay. It is added properly. Whatever the value we gave, I mean, it is properly added. This is how, I mean, we will generally create the record. I mean, based on your like values, like whatever it is there, then we will, based on the columns here, then we'll design this form. Okay. Any other queries? since we have some 15 minutes, I'll go with some short thing, that is delete item. So delete item is very simple. So I'm moving to the deleting the list item. Maybe I'll just design small thing. I'll plan like, okay. So what I'm thinking is based on movie name, we can delete it, or based on ID also. Maybe we'll try to delete based on movie name. Or generally how we'll do is based on ID. I mean, in SQL Server, maybe if you are from the SQL Server, if you know, then every table, I mean, what no, table records, there is a unique ID. I mean, primary and foreign keys will be there.
Yes.
So that means primary key means like it is unique. In any table, generally we'll create, I mean, as per the basic architecture. So we have to prepare the relationships, right? For that, we will create the primary keys. In the same way, SharePoint has its own unique things, and it was developed the unique value in every list. That column name is called ID. So maybe based on this ID, I mean, if we delete it, so that will be perfect. Because the second reason why I'm not choosing movie name is maybe tomorrow the movie details, they'll come here and create one more record with the movie name. So if it is not unique, then they may be able to do it. So since ID is unique, so I'll go with ID. Let us try with this. So what I will do is maybe I'll just trying to just reuse that form. Okay. Let me open the scene. So okay. Initially, I am preparing the HTML. Delete list item.js. So if you observe, everything is common. See, jQuery, this sp.js, all sp libraries. Only difference is this JS. Okay. And my div success, I'll say that record deleted successfully. And maybe in the movie ID, I'll say that this is my ID. And remaining all are not required. So I'll give the ID here, and Later, maybe this is button delete. Then delete. Color in this cells. Delete. So HTML is ready. Very simple. So I'll go with JS file. Okay. So all these are all common. My success is hide. My function name changed. So I need only one thing, that is txt movie ID. So mi. So I'm just trying to, just trying to reuse the create form. So if you are confused, then please let me know. Hope till now you are clear.
Yeah, clear till now.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just calling this delete item here. Then I got my ID from HTML. Then I'm taking the context. So we need context for everything. We need the list. So list, that list name we are getting it. And the next one is like, I don't need it since it is not a create record. Okay. So I need the item. So list item, list dot here the changes will get item by ID. So my ID I got it in from text box. So MID. Sorry. Is my ID. These are all, I don't need it. Okay. So I got my ID in the list item. Then very simple, list item dot delete object. That means whatever the object which is available in this ID, so it will directly delete it. This is common. Execute query async, success and failure. Success I am showing this. Anyhow, I don't. Okay, fine. We'll use the same. Then if it is failed, item deletion failed. Okay. So if you observe here, I have taken the context, then my list, then my ID. Based on the value, I am taking the ID. Based on this item ID, I am deleting the object. If the object is deleted, then clearing the, calling success and failure. Maybe I'll call this as delete failure. Okay. Is it clear?
Clear.
Only two things are different. Get by ID, item by ID, delete the object. If you go with create list item information, then update, load execute queries come. Let's try. I have copy pasted, so let me see if any mistakes are there. We'll directly do it in my debugging process. taking this. So maybe in this form itself, I will add one more. So added a part. And content candidate. I'm giving the link. I'll give here just for title purpose. Delete item by ID. Okay. So I will add one more record because we need multiple is there, then we'll understand easily. So movie name. AP complete. Submitting. Okay. Added successfully is there. So let us see. I got it. So now I am trying to delete based on my ID is, I'll give two. New ID is 2. Trying to debug now. Taking my delete listed. So starting from delete item. So click on delete. So moving one by one, I got the value as 2. So object deleted. Check the success and okay, success it is showing. Record deleted success. Let's see. I'm refreshing. So item 2 is deleted. If I give the ID as 1, then delete it. Again, it is number 1 also delete. Yeah. So only we have to observe when we have everything on HTML. So only pending is like, we have to think about JS files only, because the common things are like get the current context, get the list, and then client context, execute query async, and load, update. These are all common. So based on your operation like create or whatever, delete or read, the between the execute async and set the values will be changed. Is it clear or any doubts?
Clear.
Okay. Vinith, anything, any doubts, clarifications needed? Okay. Okay, fine. I will assign the task. So maybe I'll give some task. So just try to complete the task. So this JSON, these are all previous version, but if you are good in JSON, then you will be able to understand the framework. I mean, latest technology is very easy. So please plan to practice this class as well as I just started. Okay. So if we in this, I mean, where we will use this CAML query is in this place. Okay. So basically, how we will, like, based on our requirement, initially we will prepare the query and we will write it, like we will use this code and merge it with our existing code. That's it. Okay. Till now, do you have any worries?
No.
So when we are using it, if you sometimes, I mean, we may see some errors, but that is, I mean, we can fix it. So let us use this one by one. Slowly I will use it. So first I'll take only view fields, maybe. Okay. So I'll take this 4. I mean, for your easy understanding, I'm just taking. Maybe I'll take all. And taking one by one. Yeah. Okay. I'm just taking everything into one line. Okay. I need this 4. Maybe I'll just take this and use it in my code. So I have a read data already code is available. So what I have to do is I got the list and list of whatever I got it. Then after that, take variable CAML query equal to new sp dot CAML query. This is the object. I mean, we have to create it so that we can use that CAML query. Okay. So if you are, I mean, once the object is created, then you can use it for CAML query. So later, CAML query underscore new XML. Within the XML, you have to use your code. That means my code is ready. I'm just taking here, paste it. Okay, maybe I'll give it in double quotes since inside they are using single quote.
I mean, if they are using single quote, outside we'll use double quote. If they are using double quote, we can use single quote. Anything is fine. So, okay, fine. Writing, I just wrote it in the set view XML because it is XML format, and we are just taking the query into CAML query object. Then later you just use that object here, CAML query. Previously I have taken everything. Okay, now I am taking only this. You got my, I mean, what I have written, like just take only two things. One is CAML query object, then CAML query dot set view XML, whatever U2U CAML query builder, I just took it. Then passing that into get items. That's it. Any queries here?
No.
No.
Maybe I'll just again replace it. Read. Just replacing. I have to open the page now. Okay, they have, I mean, previously we have written for country, but here we wrote it for movie details. So I'll take it for country immediately. So I'll take title. I mean, it was not there, so that's why it is showing empty. Title state. So now I'm taking these two, only the fields. So I just took my two fields. Okay. Just refreshing now. Checking whether the code is, oh, this is REST API. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So if you observe here, whatever the data it is available, we are able to retrieve it. So see the code. Based on title and notice. It should not display actually. It is. Okay. Now it is fine. Title and state. Now we will apply some filters. For example, I'll go to here, filter, state, Bangalore, or title, maybe title equal to India, I'll write. We'll see state, what is the, okay, column name is state. I'm taking state is equal to Bangalore. Okay, execute it. We are getting the result. So now I have to write like entire code. See here how they wrote it. In the CSOM code, they wrote like it. So you can take this copy, view till end of this. Yeah. Just write it, copy paste it. Wait and replace it. Okay. See now, I just copied the code. Just applied that value equal to Bangalore, and now I am seeing only Bangalore data. So it is very easy. What you have to do is you just select here id equal to 1 something, execute it, take some condition and or title is equal to something like India. So just check it out here, output and all. Go to editor, check it out. In the CSOM code, copy this entire code within the view and paste it in your set view XML. Is it clear, Sangeet and Vinny? Whatever we have done is same. Only thing is we have to copy from builder. Vinith, any doubt?
No, I don't have any doubt.
Okay. So only change is just like create a CAML query, set the view XML, and copy from this CSOM code. I mean, first take it whether view fields or query something, check it out, execute the query, see the result. If everything is matches, just go to CSOM code, copy just view till here and paste it over there. Here, this will change automatically based on your requirement. If this is okay, then I'll move to the update item.
That's clear.
Because U2U CAML query uses only for reading the data, and mostly we'll use it for, I mean, if you ask me, we'll use it for this query only for this purpose. Otherwise, there is no use. This code. Okay, fine then. We'll move to update item. So I'm just preparing the HTML update list item. Initially, I'll take everything. Maybe I'll update based on the ID. So I'll take like movie ID or something. Text movie ID. Oh, remaining all are same. Like, I mean, I'll give my input ID. Maybe I'll select move. I mean, updates, whatever the budget, names, region, everything I'll change, and finally I'll submit it. I'm just reusing the create one. So if I come here, like update item, figure update item, remaining all like we have to take ID first. Variable MID equal to ID is available here. HT movie ID, that is my ID. So these things are like, I mean, I need it anyhow from the drop down, from the lists and everything. So taking the like remaining things are all are common. Only thing we have to do is, so we have to take the item ID initially, then we have to update it. I mean, we have to set it, then update it. So first I got the item ID, whatever the ID, then I'll get the list ID and all. Since it is item creation, I'm just removing it. So here what I have to do is, list name O list equal to no list item I can call. Second. Okay. object list item equal to row list get item by ID. So in the ID, I'll use this MID. What I'm trying here is go to the list, that means movie details, and get the item by ID based on this ID. So if I ask like movie details, my ID is 345. So if I pass 3, automatically it will come the object of that 3. Then all list items, set item, title, movie, everything is set. Then update is clear. Then you don't need to load it here. Actually, execute query, success, failure is common. If you observe, only difference is just getting by ID, set it, update, and execute it. That's it. You should know the ID. Let me try to upload it first. Okay. Taking the path and creating some part page. Adding content editor web part. Just go to edit web part and give the path. Stop it. Okay. Now my ID, I'll take it as 3. 3 instead of Spider-Man, I'll say that return, and instead of I'll make it as 500, 5000. Okay. So instead of AP, I'll make it as U, and it is completed. It is in progress now. Now it is completed. So I'm just trying to submit it. I'll go through that with my debugging process. Oh, still it is showing create list item. Oh, okay. Mistake is like I gave the reference till create list item. Okay. I'm just replacing the file, HTML file. Okay. Okay. No syntax errors now. Now I got my JS file as well. So let us try to give 3 complete. So I'll keep it here, breakpoint. Let's move on. 1 second. Okay, so I got my ID, value Spider-Man 500 EU and completed. So going by ID, so my ID is successfully returned some values. So setting up the values, update, execute query, and we'll see success and failure. Yeah, it is success. So upload is successful. If I go back here, just refresh it. Spider-Man home return 500 EU completed. Only change we have to do is just get the item by ID. You have to pass it somehow based on your requirement. Set it, update it, and execute it. This loading is not required for this. So, is it clear or any doubts? Need any clarifications?
Clear.
Clear.
Okay, fine. I mean, since we have just 10 minutes time, Vinith, I think you didn't see this one, right? How to open that. So just open the U2U CAML query builder, give the site details, URL, click on connect to SharePoint online, and give the custom credentials. Yeah. So we'll play one more thing for read operation. Okay. For example, it is the country. So in the get list items, I'll use R operation as well. Title equal to India, state is equal to state. Okay, bank, China state. Execute query. I mean, you got two records. So go to CSOM code. Copy the code. Okay. Till now it is okay. I mean, I want to show dynamically. Again, I mean, this dynamic. Again, I want to show dynamic value as well. So let us see. So first we'll check it out whether it is. I mean, you got all the records. Why didn't selected view fields? So let me select title and state. Yeah, title and state. Execute it. Okay, both I got it. So take the code. What I am thinking is, sometimes you may get it dynamically, the value. So that means this India, you may get it dynamically. So variable country equal to, what I can do is read data, right? So I'll give here select real country
Ganesh.
I'll take for now India, China, Sri Lanka. So based on this selection in the drop down, we will show it in div. So let us go here. I'll use this ID. So dollar of, since it is ID, I'll take hash dot val. That means dynamically I received the country value. So I'll take this country, and instead of India, I have to use plus symbol, I mean for concatenation, right? So double quote plus, then it starts with double quote. Use country. I mean, I received the value in country, and based on the selection, it will change country. Now, so when to trigger this is when we change the value in country, I mean in the drop down list. So I will use like this one, dot change function. So instead of that, I will take this side. I'm not using document.ready. I mean, now I need it based on the drop down list value. I mean, if I change the drop down list value, it will call the get data from list. So now I'll get the value. So let us see. I mean, in the load, I'll call div right. Maybe please select country just for now, or keep it here, span. Everything is ready. Again, I'm just replacing the HTML and JS. Okay. Yeah. So as of now, India selected, so it is coming India. China, nothing, not happening. Okay, let me go to the debug process. So okay, let's see the source. And code was not updated, so that's why it is coming. Just refreshing, Control F5. Yeah, see now my code is updated. I am selecting China, nothing, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Okay, let's debug it. So India. Oh. Okay, small mistake I have done. We have to call this within the document already. Otherwise, this event will not trigger. Okay. Event itself not rising, so we have to invoke it within the document already. It's loading. Yeah. So China. Display it. Yeah, China record. India. Okay, India and China. Yes, I mean there is one mistake. We'll do it. Sri Lanka. China, Sri Lanka. Okay. That mistake is, I mean every time we are changing, right? By that time it is appending here. So initially what we can do is just make this div tag in empty position. Let us see. Let me check it out here itself. Perfect. So in the success, initially it will become empty. Later it will just check it out in the while loop. Then it will append to div JSON. So initially I'm just making this div container empty. So let's see now. I'm just replacing. Okay. So let's refresh the page. China, India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan. Yeah. So basically what I am trying is, I mean you can dynamically give the values within the CAML query. You can give it here also. Like just give like with country, you can give state And our state is Bangalore, Bangalore, China state something. I'll write for 2 for now. Bangalore, China state, Sri Lanka state, state. I'm taking DDL state here. Just use double quote within that plus symbols DDL state. In DDL state, you just use this state. Use this state here. Where is that? Saving. See, the state value is reflected. Tracing the HTML as well. Let's see the result now. Yeah. So I am selecting China state. Here China. Let's see whether it is updated or not. Code is not refreshed. Control F5. Okay. China. Yeah. Bangalore, India. Only India is coming. See now, I'm just selecting China state, China. Selecting only, it is coming only this. If I select this, India is coming. Sri Lanka, only Sri Lanka is updated. Not there. Okay, Pakistan, both are coming. So this is how you can give the values. I mean, you can pass the values dynamically within the CAML code. So take the values dynamically, pass it within the CAML. Is it clear? Any doubts here?
Yes, clear.
Okay. I will, anyhow, this data is available within the site assets. These files are available in site assets, JSON folder. You can check it out. So we'll see that. I mean, the next topic, I mean, we'll check it out, what exactly it suits. So we'll move on to the next topic. I mean, once the JSON is completed. I mean, from JSON part, it is completed. let us see. I mean, what next we will go ahead.
What is the next topic?
I mean, I'm thinking to go for page layouts or master pages.
Okay.
So whichever is best. I mean, maybe page layouts is currently they are using mostly. So we'll go ahead with page layouts.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
Okay, then I mean, if everything is okay.